This is our Forex blog for January 29th, 2016, and I just want to show how our trading systems are improving. I work pretty much every single day and have for over 2 years to improve our trading methods. There's now 3,530, I think 5 or 33 or 35 patterns in here on all different types of trend trades, counter trend trades, narrow range breakout trades, trend line trades, Fibonacci profit target trades. So over 25 different categories, 3-line break trading methods. So it finds a lot of totally different trades. Sometimes our counter trend methods get us out of our trend trades at the perfect times. And I just want to highlight how many trades we're finding each day now. Very volatile markets. I've had to fix a lot of trades this week. This is Friday right here. I have it sorted from highest to lowest, and the results you can see in the bottom down here. On Friday, 988 pips, 64 trades. The average of every single one of them is 15.5 pips. The losers average only 6.5 pips, and the wins a huge 28 pips. So over 5 times bigger wins than losers, and probably about 55 to 60% winning. Here's Thursday, also a lot of trades, 45 trades, 431 pips. The losers average 6.3 pips. The wins average 18. So again, 3 times bigger wins than loss. And that's what I try to shoot for when I create new patterns. Will this repeat frequently? Will it work 50% or more of the time? And when it does work, will it provide 2 to 3 times or more profit? Here's Wednesday, 445 pips. The average loss, very small, 6.3 pips. The average win, 15. So again, 2.5 times bigger win than loss. Here's Tuesday. I think it had a lot of bigger size wins. 41 trades, 420 pips. Some really big losses that day, and these trades tend to work in the past. So I document and keep stats of each single pattern. So if it works well in the past, there's 20 losers that day with 7.54 pips. The wins, smaller number of wins, pretty much 50-50 that day, but notice 27 pips average win, and so it's about 2.5 times bigger wins than loss. Even with a 50-50, 165 pip win can get rid of the majority of the bigger losers. So that's the key behind what I'm doing, and it's why I work every day. There's always patterns that need fixed, always new patterns that are, believe it or not, 3,533 to 35 patterns miss. Here's Sunday. Very huge Sundays. One of the biggest Sundays we ever had, 555 pips. They had not many losers too, which is wonderful. 7.6 pip average loss, and the win is 23. Now keep in mind, these stats are done at the end of the day. I'll usually will fix 3, and sometimes on really bad days 10 patterns, so those losses don't show up in this. I also tend to add 3 to 8 new patterns each day, but as you can see, most days there's still tons of wins, and a lot of times I don't fix the smaller losses, especially if the pattern does well in the future. I don't want to put a few extra rules in there that prevent in the future that pattern from firing, and more likely than not giving us big wins. So I'll just showcase some of the patterns now. Here's the pound. You can see pretty much a break even on that trade. It shifts direction from an uptrend to downtrend, and this happens to be the hourly moving average and a few other resistance areas. Once a support area is broken, it tends to act as resistance, and it led to a very nice big win here. Small, about 15 pip loss here, or win here, 8 or 9 pip loss here, and unfortunately it was down so much that our systems skipped on that, and it was so weak that we didn't buy. You can't always predict when the market's going to rocket and do a counter trend move this violently. I don't like to buy those unless there's many reasons to do so, specifically major area support or double bottoms. I tend to do more counter trend trades there. Here's the euro dollar. A very strong trend up, comes down, very small 5 or 6 pip profit here, and this is one of our methods that we look for. Nice little triangle wedge pattern, and when it breaks, this one led to astronomically huge, probably 10, 20, 30, 60 or 70 pip win. Here's the New Zealand yen, and I'm doing more and more work each day creating patterns that are likely to hit frequently. For instance, you can see a very strong trend right here, pullback, a huge 100 pip move right here, and that same pattern caught a very, oops, that's the same one here. That same pattern caught this huge win too. So you can see one pattern I coded up on Friday generated a ton of winners, most of them on previous days, but it also found these two trades on that day. So I'm doing a lot more comparison of multiple charts throughout the day and trying to code up patterns that will find similar types of trades on multiple ones. Whereas in most of our patterns have 30 to 50 rules or more. So one rule that's a little too strict on this one, it might find this trade, might miss this one. That's where the toughness of doing this is. You can see this nice pullback here after. Also was a nice trend trade and beautiful narrow range breakout right here that also led to about 20 pips. The market's statistically up too much, so we start looking for some counter trend trades. I think this pattern that I added on Friday also found a good one in this as well. This is an example of a very similar type of pattern that I coded up, and it found, I think, about 10 trades in the last week. Here's just 2 of them. Most of them were on previous days, and it's likely, I think, to hit at least 1 to 5 times per week, and I believe it's going to be, just because it back tested last week 80%, I don't believe it's necessarily going to work that well in the future, but it should be 50-50, and this is a pattern that is likely to, when it works, give us 15 to 50 plus pips. So that's one that I added in there. This is one of our existing patterns that was already in there, and this led to about 10 or 15 pip profit. Another little mini double bottom right here. You have the market super weak and it's making lower highs, lower lows. I like to sell double bottoms like that. You can see 2 of those such patterns there. And I'll just finish this off with showing the euro on the previous day. Nice little buy at the bottom here, huge win. It was running out of momentum here. It couldn't make new highs. It's stalling at the highs. It didn't really lead to too much profit here, maybe 3 or 4 pips, nothing. And then it gets back into the trend and makes about 30 or 40 pips. And again, we don't catch every trade. In hindsight, this would be a wonderful trade, but when you do counter trend trades, you oftentimes get burned. They're very dangerous. Here's the previous day, very volatile, small win, loss, and pretty much even on the day. This is a pattern that's based on time, and when the market's very volatile and gyrating, tends to find a lot of trades. You can see win, win, small loss, small win. So those, I think those are all the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4 trades in a row, and 2 of them worked, 2 of them didn't. But when the market's news comes out and it's very volatile like this, you can oftentimes leave a little early just to be careful. Every one of them led to the market moving our direction, at least something. So that's it for the Forex blog today. We will be releasing a new version today, 5.059. And when you bring up the software later, and it will ask you to auto update, click yes, and it will download the new one with all of the changes this week. I probably put in about 150 changes this week. Tons of fixes to old patterns. The more volatile the market is, the more our patterns hit, and the more I'm able to fix the ones that don't tend to work well in the past or did some silly things during high volatility periods. So I would put in additional rules to prevent those in the future. So that's it for this week.